Newly placed Christmas decorations in the heart of downtown Nassau get the thumbs down from motorists. There could be another protest brewing, and sad new details emerge from one of the country's most recent homicides. We've got those stories and others. I'm your host, Krishna Virgil, and this is the Tribune's Top 5. Catastrophic was how some motorists described the newly placed decorations at the heart of the city.
A company owned by former Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, Neville Wisdom, has been given a contract to erect Christmas decorations in downtown Nassau and Arawaki, as the ministry prepares to launch a series of holiday-themed events to attract Bahamians and tourists to the area. The Christmas decorations are provided by Florama, a company owned by Mr. Wisdom, who served in the first Christie administration. When questioned by the Tribune on Tuesday, Mr. Wisdom did not reveal how much the contract is worth, but he emphasized that numerous Bahamians are being employed to help outfit the area and to design the decorations. The extravagant display, however, has prompted criticism from some. Free National Movement East Grand Bahama MP Peter Turnquest said, "Didn't we just have to borrow millions? Where are they getting the money from?" Others have criticized the aesthetics of the display on social media, calling the decorations a catastrophe. One Facebook user said, "I passed through there this morning. They look terrible." Another wrote, "They spent all that money? That's all they could afford." Later on Thursday, Mr. Wisdom again declined to say how much the contract is worth, saying it would be inappropriate to reveal the information ahead of the Ministry of Tourism, which issued the contract. Minister with responsibility for that ministry, Obi Wilscombe, would not reveal how much the government shelled out for the decorations, but said Florama's bill was the cheapest. Mr. Wisdom has said the criticisms are just an attempt to get at him. The two remaining defendants who were awaiting trial in connection with the gunpoint robbery of Deputy Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis at his home have had the case against them withdrawn in the Supreme Court. Tyrone Knowles, 25, and Mark McCartney, 21, were due to stand trial before Justice Vera Watkins on December 5th concerning the December 2013 incident. However, in a hearing on Monday, Crown Prosecutor Patrick Sweeting produced a nollie prosequi signed by the Attorney General asking that the charge be discontinued against the two accused. It is unclear why the Office of the Attorney General dropped the case. Lawyer for the accused, Jeffrey Farquharson, was also served with a copy of the document. The Office of the Attorney General could bring the case against Knowles and McCartney again at any time in the Supreme Court, but it is unlikely. The Christie administration has come under fire from the Free National Movement for issuing nollie prosequi orders in controversial cases. The two men were accused of robbing Mr. Davis of jewelry worth $93,000, a jewelry box worth $200, Baraka gold jewelry worth $700, an opal top wallet worth $450, a Royal Bank of Canada credit card, and a driver's license worth $15. They were also accused of robbing Mr. Davis's wife, Anne Marie, of $2,953 and Wilberforce Seymour of $10. Mr. Davis was acting Prime Minister at the time of the incident as Perry Christie was out of the country. A third accused, 25-year-old Jeffrey King, was to stand trial with Knowles and McCartney. However, in September, he was killed in a shootout with police in Yellow Elder Gardens. He was on bail at the time.
The We March protest organizers have issued an ultimatum to the Prime Minister. They say make a national address or we'll stage a national strike.
Seeking to ramp up pressure on the government following its Black Friday march, We March Bahamas organizers have threatened to initiate a national strike if Prime Minister Perry Christie does not give a national address on steps taken to meet protest demands. In a letter to Mr. Christie, lead organizer Renard Henfield reiterated that there was no reason to meet privately with the nation's leader because all issues listed were well within his permit to immediately effect change with the stroke of a pen, given his portfolio as Prime Minister, Minister of Finance, and Minister with responsibility for Crown land. He said that if Mr. Christie met some of the demands in good faith via a public address by December 8th, he was prepared to convene a meeting with the more than 40 affiliated organizations and the media to discuss controversial issues. The letter read, quote, "The monumental Black Friday event of November 25, 2016 has forever redefined the memory of Black Friday in the Bahamas. No longer will its history only be associated with the half-price sales around Thanksgiving or slavery. It will now forever be remembered as the day when Bahamians of all creeds, colors, social statuses, political affiliations, and religious views come together as one people united in love and raised up chants of our national anthem, our national motto, and our national pledge as we demanded better governance and representation." Organizers issued a list of 23 nonpartisan demands to the Prime Minister and several of his cabinet ministers on November 9th and again on November 22nd. Mr. Christie responded to organizers by letter on November 24th, in which he invited leaders to meet with him at his office. However, his offer was rejected. Angry residents across New Providence were left in darkness on Tuesday night after a damaged underground cable caused an island-wide power outage, according to Bahamas Power and Light. In addition, customers were warned that they would experience intermittent challenges with their power supply until operations stabilized. Bahamas Power and Light Corporate Communications Manager Arnett Ingram said the company was working on locating the damaged cable, and once repairs were complete, services should return to normal. On Tuesday night, BPL executives did not offer an explanation for the 2-hour blackout, but said in a statement on Facebook that the company experienced a system-wide shutdown in New Providence shortly after 10 p.m. Around midnight, BPL said power was being restored to communities. Despite the overnight restoration, customers began experiencing outages early on Thursday morning, and the island suffered another blackout shortly after 1 p.m. with repeated interruptions throughout the day. These blackouts continued into Friday.
Gunmen opened fire on a family of 5 at their Chippenham residence just as they arrived home after church.
The woman who was shot dead Wednesday night as she pulled up to her home in the Chippenham area with relatives had just returned from church when gunmen ambushed the family. She died with her Bible next to her, police said. 4 other persons, including an 8-year-old girl, are in hospital after 2 armed men opened fire on their vehicle. Another victim, a 15-year-old boy, was chased by the shooters on foot throughout the area as he tried to alert neighbors about the incident. A resident of the area told the Tribune on Thursday that one of the victims had claimed that someone tried to kill her last week. The brutal shooting happened just 1 hour before a businessman was shot and killed in front of his establishment on Mackey Street, which marked December's first homicide. The killings took the country's murder count to 99 for the year and brought an end to the bloodiest month of 2016 thus far. There were 13 homicides in November, according to the Tribune's records. The first murder took place shortly after 11 p.m. through Poitiers Street. Officers in charge of the Central Detective Unit, Chief Superintendent Clayton Fernander, said 2 armed men ambushed a family of 5 as they pulled into their driveway.
Want to get in on the discussion? Well, here's how you can. Just log on to our website at www.tribune242.com, like us on Facebook, the Tribune News Network, send us a tweet at Tribune242, or subscribe to our YouTube page, Tribune242.